Shop gift certificate just in time for Administrative Professionals Day, which comes up on April 24th. Order your flowers today at Viviano.com. When you hear Arnold Schwarzenegger, he says this, let off some steam, Bennett. When you hear Arnold Schwarzenegger say, let off some steam, Bennett, be the 7th caller at 248-539-9797, and you'll win $50 to the Viviano's Flower Shop.
Starting route to W14 Mile Road and Inkster Road. In 1.7 miles, turn right onto Lockhaven Road. Stay in the right lane.
his job is to be the communicator of the game.
Right.
Convey what happens in the game, so why wouldn't he prepare a final line?
Okay, that's fine, but I'm saying if he did prepare it, that was kind of weak.
Okay.
He's had much better than that.
I
I mean, you even said one in the office that would have been more appropriate.
well, I saw it on Twitter. I don't want to take
Okay, what-
credit for it. Somebody on Twitter after the game wrote, "Yes, Virginia, there is a championship,"
Yeah, that's good.
which is a reference to what, Miracle on 34th Street?
West Virginia, there's a semi. Yeah.
It's a little slightly dated reference.
There's also one I heard because Virginia's like slogan for years. I don't know if it still is, but Virginia's for lovers. Virginia is for champions or something like that. They could have said. I don't
Okay.
know.
All right. Anyone else?
Charlottesville United.
There's that.
Yeah.
As somebody suggested yesterday, good people on both teams.
Yeah.
You know, if that had happened, which there were good people on both sides of the
In 1
basketball
mile,
game last
turn
night.
left onto
Right?
Old Orchard
So
Trail.
there's that. Yeah. Tony Bennett, he left his heart in Minneapolis.
A Tony Award. Anyway.
Tony Bennett, by the way, is much like his father in terms of he may be the best coach in America that nobody knows anything about. He's so quiet and like I can't see him. Like, do you think he's ever gotten a technical foul? I mean, I'm sure he probably has, but you never see him lose his mind. He always looks so quiet and composed on the sideline. Even in that post or that pregame thing they do on CBS where they have all the players, you know, when Nance is doing these are the Virginia Cavaliers. Like, he looked totally uncomfortable being part of that, whereas the other coaches seem to embrace it.
Yeah. He like dresses his part too.
Yes, he does. Very conservative and but gets the job
Man of
done.
faith.
Yes, he is. He's a man of faith.
The first colony has its first title.
Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. Yes. George Washington? Yes. I don't know. But so that was the final last night. 85-77 in overtime. Virginia, the national champs. The star last night was DeAndre Hunter, 27 points. Was he the MOP?
No, Kyle Guy was.
Kyle Guy was? Okay. I didn't obviously hear the announcement or see the one shining moment. Tigers played today. Day baseball, 110 down at Comerica Park. Is this a pitching matchup today? Do I have this right, Sony? Kluber v. Zimmer?
Yes, great pitching match.
Aces high.
First place battle.
And today,
Yeah.
Heather Park will be down at the ball game. You can hear that game right here on 97.1 The Ticket. And then, of course, tonight, what's a bigger event in your life tonight, Stoney? Memphis, Detroit at the LCA or the NHL Draft Lottery?
Wow.
Which,
The NHL draft lottery is obviously
well,
more.
the results you care about more.
The NHL draft lottery.
Yeah, no,
actually.
absolutely.
No,
That's
no doubt.
100%.
Especially if the Pistons lose tonight, people should be fired. They shouldn't even show up
Turn
in New
left
York.
onto
on
Old
opening
Orchard
night.
Trail.
That would be controversial.
The Memphis Grizzlies, who are not that good to begin with,
Yes.
are playing without. They're already ruled out of the game tonight. Mike Conley, Jaren Jackson, C.J. Miles, Dylan Brooks, Avery Bradley, Valanciunas, Kyle Anderson,
1.7 miles.
and Joe
Turn
Pinell.
left onto
They're already
Pontiac
out.
Trail.
A lot of those players don't even know we're on the
I know,
Grizzlies.
it's their best players.
So, can you
Here's
give me a taste of the starting five?
probably Dante Wright,
Okay.
the great Ivan Rabb,
Oh, he went to Cal.
and
Bears.
one of the Holiday brothers, Justin Holiday.
Okay. The less good Holiday brother.
Yes, Greg Hargrave will be their point guard.
No,
Paul
Greg
Sarver-
Hargrave is our producer. Paul Sayre is our producer. You've named 3 Grizzlies. That's 3 guys of
Yeah.
3 people who've never been in my kitchen. As far as the Tankathon Palooza for the Red Wings tonight, I've done the Tankathon about 15 times this morning.
Have you?
And it's not good, Stoney.
Mhm.
I keep dropping. Like the one I just did, they finished 7th, which is the worst possible scenario.
Correct.
And the highest I've gotten them up to was 3rd. I have not gotten a 1st or a 2nd yet. So I'm hoping I get all of the bad karma out of the system, and so when it finally comes to pass, they have some number 1s.
The Free Press did 100 of them, and they have the Wings winning it. The Wings came in first more times than any of the others.
Any of the others out of the top 3, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they didn't come in first more than, like, say, New Jersey, did they?
Yeah. Wings
They
had
did?
15 times winning it, yeah. You look at the Free Press thing, they said
Wow.
times winning it, 15. And the others were like 13.
Wow. Wonder who was pushing that button.
I don't know.
That's a good sign. Oh, they just finished 3rd. I just did it again.
Would you rather win the lottery
In 1 mile,
or finish
turn left onto
the lowest
Pontiac
finish
Trail.
6th or 8th?
7th.
Seven, sorry.
Who,
Or
the Pistons you're talking about, or the Red Wings?
Red Wings.
The Red Wings can finish 7th.
Okay, win the lottery or finish 7th, but Iserman is guaranteed you.
I would would take winning the lottery and Iserman as GM.
No.
I'd take winning the lottery.
Interesting.
You're crazy.
Well, here's the only thing, and I'm going to ask Holland this because we're going to have Ken Holland on coming up at 7:35. The only thing I was thinking is, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Stone, you've scouted these guys more than I have. Obviously, Jack Hughes and Capo Caco are the two real stars, right? Both forwards. And when you look at the list of the prospects, a lot of them are forwards. And what does this franchise need more than anything else?
Defenseman.
Yeah. So could it possibly be a blessing in disguise for them to finish third or lower? Because then they wouldn't be taking a forward?
We talked about this a
Look on the
little
sunny
last
side.
week. That I do believe there's a little hype too much for Kako and Hughes.
Based on what? I mean, I've never seen the guys play, so I nothing I can base it.
They're not even Austin Matthews, okay? These aren't drop-dead guarantees.
No, but he's not Austin Matthews. He's not Connor McDavid, but he's Patrick Kane. Is the comparable? That's pretty damn good.
I don't think
I'd take
Austin
that.
Matthews and Connor McDavid are
Well,
Patrick Kane.
that's what they say the comparable is because of his size and speed, that type of thing.
Well, I mean,
I take that.
Yeah.
well, and Kane was drafted onto a team with some really good young players, and so obviously McDavid hasn't had the success yet. We'll see what happens with Austin Matthews this year in the playoffs. But, you know, part of it is who you're with as well.
No doubt.
So, I mean, Dylan Larkin ain't Jonathan Taves.
No.
But when you combine all the forwards that the Red Wings have, maybe Jack Hughes would be going to a better situation than Connor McDavid went to.
All right. It isn't fair to Jonathan Taves to say this, but I think Dylan Larkin is potentially tracking that
Turn
way as
left
a
onto
leader.
Pontiac
Oh,
Trail.
there's no doubt. I mean,
So you don't need to worry about getting the leader like
Yeah,
Kane
no, I
was.
agree with that.
No,
Kane was-
in fact, yesterday afternoon, last night, when they cleaned out their lockers, I was there, and it's obvious that Dylan Larkin's going to be a captain of the team. Just, you're reading the tea leaves, stuff he says.
Isn't that kind of like Penn State having a night game? I mean, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, yes, I would tend to agree with that statement.
Yeah.
Is there anybody who would
I
disagree
can't
with it?
wait to officially announce that.
You won't get a chance to.
Get him all riled up.
Mhm.
By the way, IGS with us this morning. Instant gratification, Stoney. Choosing the win the lottery over Iserman in the 7th pick.
Well,
But it's not instant. It's not instant gratification. It's a guy's going to be here for 20 years. Hopefully, that's the reason.
Well, first of all, your scenario did not rule out Iserman either. You said
Guaranteed.
guaranteed Iserman number one.
All right, nitpicky.
Well, no, but I mean, if it's lottery pick,
In half a mile,
seventh
turn
pick,
right onto Orchard Lake
Iserman,
Road.
which one would you choose? I think that's a more compelling question. And again, much like John Joseph James Anthony Harbaugh, whatever his middle name is, just because it looks like a perfect scenario, it doesn't always work out perfectly.
Yeah, ask St. John's fans. Chris Mullins is leaving St. John's. Everybody, I mean, look,
Yeah, but see, Chris Mullin had no
I know. We can't compare him to Harbaugh, but the whole going back home thing is what the comparison is.
That's a terrible comparison. Chris
Okay.
Mullin had never coached a game of basketball in his life. Jim Harbaugh coached in the Super Bowl and turned Stanford into an Orange Bowl team and one of the better programs in college football over the last 10 years. Mullin,
All right, how about Alan Trammell?
Mullin was a crappy GM. Trammell's just like Mullin.
I know.
So get a better example.
Yeah, Iserman has a track record.
Yes.
The only GM, the GM that, as a player and a GM, 62 wins. Most in NHL
Turn right
history.
onto Orchard
He
Lake
did it as
Road.
a player,
Yeah.
and as a GM.
So you're saying he's like Dumars?
I'll take that.
Yeah.
Would you take that?
Yeah.
A championship?
Yes.
6 straight trips to the conference finals?
Yes, I take it.
I would absolutely take that,
Mhm.
yes. All right, was Jody here for the thing, by the way?
No.
He was not. It's too bad he couldn't work that schedule.
Yeah.
All right, coming up next, we were going to listen to some sound from Ken Holland yesterday. We'll hear some sound from Ken Holland himself at 7:30. He will join us at 7:30, but he did have a press conference yesterday. Talked a lot about where this team is, where this team can get, where this team needs to get, and about the looming presence of a former player who might be returning as a general manager. All that is coming up. It's Jamie and Stoney. 2 Grand Slam, by the way, at 7:25 on 97.1 The Ticket. If you are somebody out there who is losing your hair, you want to do something about it, call Dr. B
In
at
1.5 miles,
844
turn
Hair.
left onto
According
Walnut
to
Lake
the
Road.
American Hair Loss Association, by the age of 35, 2/3 of men experience some degree of hair loss. And by the age of 50, about 85% of men have significantly thinner hair. If you're one of those guys, call Dr. B. Call him today, 844-HAIR. Dr. B.
Starting route to W14 Mile Road and Inkster Road. In 600 feet, turn left onto Lone Pine Road.
And that transplanted
Turn
hair is
left onto
genetically
Lone Pine
programmed to grow. Stop hiding under a hat. Stop over. Take care of yourself. Get your hair back. Get your confidence back. Stop making excuses for yourself and start feeling better about yourself. And call Dr. B today, and he can help you save up to $500 on the procedure. 844-WAND-HAIR. That's 844-WAND-HAIR, or check him out on the web at drb4hair.com. That's drb4hair.com.
In 4.9 miles, arrive at W14 Mile Road, Anningster
This
Road.
report brought to you by Michigan's Money Smart Week Financial Empowerment Campaign. From preschool money-themed story times to enjoying your retirement, there are hundreds of free non-commercial events happening across Michigan now through April 30th. Go to moneysmartweek.org to find a program of interest to you. On 75 southbound just after East Holland Road, an accident is still working to clear. So far, only the right lane is open, but according to police, all lanes could be closing shortly. You can still exit at Grange Hall Road, take that to Dixie Highway, and re-enter the freeway. Traffic also brought to you by Naples, Marco Island, and the Everglades, Florida's Paradise Coast. I'm Michelle Penny on the WWJ 24-hour traffic center.
Available for download. Always aggravated. Mike Valenti's signature podcast. Get it on radio.com and Apple iTunes.
Hey, the truck, Sean Lowe here. Want to reward yourself for surviving another winter? Do what the Lowe's do. Escape to the blue skies, white sand, and warm Gulf waters of Florida's Paradise Coast. Naples, Marco Island, and the Everglades. Plan your visit at exploreyourparadise.com.
This CBS Sports Minute is brought to you by Foundation Systems of Michigan.
This is Boomer Esiason with the CBS Sports Minute, sponsored by the Spark Cash Card, Capital One's business credit card. What's in your wallet? Well, so much for shutdown defense. A record low 120-point over-under, and whatever was left of my tattered bracket. Virginia outlasted Texas Tech in overtime, 85-77 last night, to win its first national championship. Cavaliers head coach Tony Bennett, who has a poster of fictional fighter Rocky Balboa in his office, had told his players all he wanted was to have a shot at a championship. He and his Wahoos now own the crown due to a real-life fighter from Philadelphia named DeAndre Hunter. The 6'7" sophomore scored a career-high 27 points, including a shining moment, game-tying three-pointer to force overtime. It should be noted that Hunter missed last year's first-round loss to UMBC with a broken wrist. So congratulations, Cavaliers, the new kings of college hoops. What a game. I'm Boomer Esiason.
Hi, my name's Ken, and I own Good Start Packaging in Bedford, New Hampshire. With my Spark Cash Card from Capital One, I earn unlimited 2% cash back on all my business purchases. And last year, that added up to $36,000 in cash back. That's right, $36,000. Thanks to that, I was able to offer health care to my employees. The Spark Cash Card did a lot for my business. Imagine what it could do for yours. What's in your wallet?
Real Capital One customers pay for real stories. Credit approval required. Car guys know not all motor oils are created equal. Because when your engine hits 75,000 miles, cheaper motor oils won't do. That's why Valvoline created full synthetic high mileage with MaxLight technology, designed to fight sludge, condition seals, and better protect critical engine components as your engine ages. Keep your high mileage ride driving well into the future. Valvoline, trusted for 150 years. Now at O'Reilly Auto Parts, buy 5 quarts of Valvoline full synthetic high mileage and a filter for just $34.99. Terms and conditions may apply.
Hi, welcome to this Subway ad for 5 foot long starting at $4.99 each. How do you want it?
Secret DJ set.
At a retirement home?
Weird. I like it.
What are you saying?
Golden button level. How much? Limited time only at participating restaurants. Prices and subs widely vary. Additional charge for extras plus critical tax. No additional discounts or coupons may apply. If you've ever hired someone to maintain your lawn, you know it can be a crapshoot. So many of these small companies are unreliable, and frankly, they don't do a very good job. You should hire Miller Landscape. They'll maintain and proactively manage all your landscape needs, from mowing and pruning to flowers, fertilization, even your sprinklers. Hire them to do as much or as little as you want, and most importantly, they're reliable and do a great job. Call 836-MILLER. That's 836-MILLER, or go to getmillernow.com.
Man, it sure is great to get out of the shop and out to the track for a day. Huh?
What'd you say?
I said, man, it sure is great. Oh boy, are you gonna get that? Hello? The air compressor's down? Son of...
Air Center sells and services industrial air compressors compressors and systems for businesses that need to run strong. Air Center sells Kaiser, the most reliable air compressors in the world. Call Air Center at 800-AIR-2959 or visit teamaircenter.com. Air Center and Kaiser, run strong.
North Bloomfield Properties is the area's most recommended full-service property management team. They're experts in advertising, cleaning, maintaining, and repairing your rental property. Enjoy your weekends again. Visit NorthBloomfield.com.
Bloomfield Properties, experts you can trust.
April is National Distracted Driving Awareness Month, and 97.1 The Ticket is partnering with the Transportation Improvement Association to remind you to keep your eyes on the road and hands on the wheel. Go to 971theticket.com for more information. Sponsored by Oliver Law Firm.
6:51 on 97.1 The Ticket on a Tuesday morning. Jamie and Stoney, Virginia, the national champs. They win last night in overtime over Texas Tech, 85-77. Tigers will play at 1:10 today against the Indians. You can hear that game right here on 97.1 The Ticket on Truth America Park. So yesterday was the locker cleanout day for the Red Wings after the end of the regular season. For the third consecutive year, the Wings do not make the playoffs after making them for 25 consecutive years. And Ken Holland had a press conference afterwards. We'll talk to Ken Holland coming up at 7:35. Ken Holland was very passionate yesterday.
Yes, he was.
Very passionate about the job that he's had here, very passionate about this organization, and very passionate about remaining a Red Wing. In fact, in this particular clip, he talks about how he loves being a Red Wing.
63 years old. I've been a Red Wing for 36 years. I've been a Red Wing for well over half my life. I love the Red Wings. I love living in Michigan. I love the fans. I love the people. I love the owners. I love being a Red Wing. I love the history. And I will manage this team every day until I'm not the manager and somebody else is in charge. But while I'm I want this team to contend for a Stanley Cup. We're going through tough times.
Just being there, right?
Yeah.
You could see, being there, you can see his face clenched up.
Yeah.
He wants it.
Well, I remember a couple years ago, we talked to him on opening night down at the LCA, the first game ever at LCA. And I remember he was jumping out of his chair. He was chomping. Remember we even joked with him, like, well, he's clearly lost the passion for the job, King. And he clearly has not. And we've talked about this topic many times on this show and others as well. About
Starting route to
I think
7481 Canal Street.
treated very unfairly by Ravens fans. I
In half a
really do.
mile,
I
turn
think he
left
gets the
onto
short
West
end of the
14
stick
Mile
when we
Road.
talk about what he's accomplished here, what he's done here, and you want to talk about Scotty Bowman or Mike Ilitch or Nicholas Lidstrom or Hakan Anderson, or you want to give all the credit to Jimmy Devellano and those guys. That's fine, and they deserve a lot of credit. But so does Ken Holland. It's like you are able to lift up many people when you give credit to the Red Wings being the organization that they have been. Maybe aren't anymore, but want to get back to being.
Right, and it appears they're doing the rebuild the way a lot of fans want them
Turn
to do
left
the
onto
rebuild.
West 14
Maybe
Mile
it's,
Road, then
maybe,
turn right
in my
onto
opinion, I
Easter
agree,
Road.
it's taken a year or two too late to go through this process. But that said, you have to love what you're seeing from the forwards especially, and at least one of the young defensemen in Hronek looks like he's a really good player.
Now, he was also asked by our own Jeff Rieger about Steve Yzerman. Brad Galley of Channel 7 asked him about it first to kind of get the ball rolling. But Rieger asked him, does he know what Steve Yzerman's going to do next year?
You are friends with Steve.
Yes.
Do you have a good idea what he's going to do? You see reports in New York. Nobody seems to know. You don't know.
That's the beauty of Steve. You guys dealt with him. Did you dealt with him when he was a player. You guys went to him. He keeps that's the beauty of Steve.
So he doesn't really answer the question.
No.
He says, he doesn't say yes or no. He said that's the beauty of Steve. And where Steve might not have said publicly what he's going to do
Turn
next
right
year
onto
because he's
Easter
still under
Road.
contract with the Lightning through the draft, which is my understanding. Ken Holland does not answer the question.
No.
Does Ken Holland know what Steve Yzerman's going to do next year? I kind of think he does.
My guess is yes, but we don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not going to say anything. I mean, first of all, you can't because he's under contract.
In 1.3 miles,
And
turn
he
right
and
onto
Yzerman
Old Colony
are,
Street.
he was talking about really good friends. They have great relationship like he does with Babcock and Jimmy Neal and all that. And here in this cut, he talks about Tim and Yzerman. They kind of chuckle about all this stuff.
We laugh about it. We laugh about it. Yeah. I'm sure I'd be living in a cave if I didn't know what they would.
In 1 mile, turn right onto Old Colony Street.
But I'm aware of all the rumors and everything out there.
I mean, look, he's not an idiot.
Yeah.
And who knows what he's going to do.
Well, you were down there, Stoney.
Yeah.
I mean, did you feel like it was
Fait accompli?
No. Well, that, but also was it Holland's last stand? I mean, when he sat there and talked about how much he loves being a Red Wing, was it? I'm not saying he's arguing for his job because the writing's on the wall one way or the other. But was he saying, look, if this is my last time addressing you as general manager, I've been here for 30 years. I love being a Red Wing. I love living in Michigan. Was it any sort of a...
No, I didn't think so because he's going to probably address this. He's going to address the meeting again, obviously before the draft and after the draft. And then if he does leave or get bumped upstairs, then he will talk about it as well. Now, the question is whether he, wants to go somewhere else or just stay in the organization. That's what it's going to come down to as far as him being or not being a Red Wing anymore.
I'm trying to remember a scenario in sports quite like this one where you have a guy who is a Hall of Famer, championship, generally regarded around the league as one of the best executives in the last quarter century. I've talked to people who cover hockey a lot more than I do, and they say it's so funny that he gets ripped in Detroit because you go to these GM conferences and he's like royalty. Like the other GMs, the other teams, a lot of the other hot national, international, Canadian hockey media, they sit on every word that Ken Holland says. And yet here in Detroit, because enough time has passed and because of some of the contracts and some of the draft picks, we all know the history there, he has somewhat fallen out of favor with certain parts of the fan base, which is understandable. I think he understands that too. But
just like Joe Dumars did.
Right. But with Joe Dumars, there was not an heir apparent, right? It's not like everybody was out there going, well, the writing's on the wall, it's going to be Van Gundy. Whereas here, there's an obvious heir apparent. He's a popular heir apparent. And he's a successful heir apparent. So here is one of the more successful executives in the sport who I think has to, in some deep in the crevices of his mind, understand why there is an emotion out there for Steve Yzerman to come in. Because, he's Detroit's favorite son, and he's really good at what he does. There's no doubt about it. And I don't know if that's ever happened before in sports, where it's like, yep, Hall of Fame career, appreciate it. Next, it's like the Ariana Grande song. Thank you, next. Right?
Some steam finish.
Yeah, exactly. Well said, Arnie.
Look, especially if Tampa wins the Stanley Cup this year, I mean,
it almost doesn't matter.
Yeah, but I mean, it just would be the final, cherry on the sundae.
Cherry on top of the dessert.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, but look, Tampa Bay has the best record in the league. They're the #1 seed. We all know that when it comes to postseason,
Stevie's been through that before with teams that have won that many games, right?
I'm just saying, if for some reason a miracle took place and Tampa Bay loses to Columbus in the first round, I don't think Red Wing fans are going to sour on Steve Yzerman. I mean, the question is what he's done to consistently put together good young talent, make smart, shrewd, salary cap-based trades, and kind of prepare the team each year. I can see why that's very attractive. All right, coming up in the next hour, Heather's going to have news right after Chris's sports update. And then at 7:25, it's your chance to win $2,000 in our $2 Slam. Ken Holland will join us at 7:35. It's the Jamie and Stoney Show. Chris with the sports update on 97.
Continue on to Michigan 10 South.
WXYT FM and WXYT HD
In half a
Detroit.
mile, turn left onto West 12 Mile Road.
A radio.com's voice station. Sports headlines. All day, every day. This is 97.1. The Ticket.
Planet Fitness, an 11-0 run in overtime, earning Virginia their first ever national championship, an 85-77 win over Texas Tech, earning the Cavs redemption
Turn
for
left
falling
onto
to a
West
16
12
seed
Mile
a year ago. But don't bring it up to Ty Jerome.
I'm about to say, don't ask me because I can't yet. This is, forget last year. This is just everything you dream of since you're a little kid. You know what I mean? I'm not even thinking about UMBC right now. I'm just thinking this is a dream come true. And it's even more than that because you never even imagine you'll be able to spend a year with people you actually love, you know what I mean, your teammates and your coaches, and, you know, not a lot of people get along like we do. So to share this moment with them is unbelievable.
Jerome had 16 points in the win. Standout Red Raider Jarrett Culver scored 15 in the loss. Wings GM Ken Holland addressing questions about his future with the team as he has a year left on his contract.
I know what you're asking, so let me just put it this way. I'm going to manage the Detroit Red Wings until I'm not managing the Detroit Red Wings. And at that point in time, I will then assess what I'm going to do. But until I'm not managing the Detroit Red Wings, whenever that might be, you can speculate. That's your job. That's what they pay you big money to do.
The NHL Draft Lottery will determine June's draft order tonight. The Wings holding less than a 10% chance of landing the top pick, which is expected to be 17-year-old phenom Jack Hughes. Day baseball for the Tigers as they'll welcome in Cleveland for a 3-game set this afternoon. Detroit currently leading the Indians by a half game for first place in the division. First pitch by Jordan Zimmerman scheduled for 1:10 p.m. right here on 97.1 The Ticket. Elsewhere in baseball, Chris Davis of the Orioles sets a record no player wants after going 0 for 5 against the A's. He's now gone 0 for his last 49 consecutive at-bats, breaking the record of 46 set in 2011. Good news for the Orioles as a crowd of only 6,500 was there to see it. From the Ticket Update Desk, I'm Chris Villar. For more, go to 971theticket.com.
Use the right two lanes to take a
tracking that on
slight right turn
ESPN this
onto
morning,
Northwestern
like
Highway.
at bat by at bat, like it was home run sheets or somebody trying to hit for the cycle or something like that. I mean, you start to feel sorry for them.
Absolutely.
And you start to wonder why they keep putting them out there.
In
I guess
1.1 miles,
they want to get a hit.
continue on to Michigan 10
Congratulations to
south.
Nick from Davison. He heard Arnold Schwarzenegger say, let off some steam, Bennett, and as a result, he is the winner of a $50 gift card to Viviano Flowers Shop, Viviano's Flower Shop, just in time for Administrative Professionals Day on April 24th. Order your flowers today at Viviano.com. 2 Grand Slam comes up at 7:25. Time for news with Heather Park.
Yesterday, Felicity Huffman pleaded guilty to paying $15,000 to a fake charity associated with Rick Singer, all to boost her daughter's SAT scores. Now, she did release a statement where she said that she is in full acceptance of her guilt, and she says that she accepts full responsibility for her actions and will accept the consequences that stem from those actions. And if prosecutors have it their way, everyone who pled guilty yesterday will
Stay in the
face
left
jail
3
time.
lanes.
Jail time?
Oh, that's what prosecutors want. Oh yeah, they want to see everyone who pleaded guilty go to jail.
Did you see I saw a clip on the news last night from Desperate Housewives where they talked about where she goes, we paid $15,000 to get the kid in school. It was
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's,
Maybe that was ad-libbed. But she was just
She was-
stemming what actually just happened in her real life.
I just, I mean, again, I give her credit for pleading guilty because they seem to have all these people.
Continue on to Michigan
and
10 south.
We almost feel like they had a family meeting with her husband, William H. Macy, and her daughter. Is that right? And they basically said, listen, one of us is going to have to go down on this. One of us is going to take the fall.
Yes, and obviously she doesn't want to see her daughter get in trouble for this because she was doing all of this to help her daughter
Michigan 39
as a parent, so she wasn't going to let that happen to her daughter if her husband didn't really have anything too much to do with it, and she doesn't want to see him get in trouble. You know?
Now we're still waiting here for Aunt Becky.
Yes, she hasn't, according to sources, pleaded guilty or her husband yet, so there's no word on if she's actually going to.
Right.
I mean, it seems like we know exactly what they did, so just hey, fess up to it and take whatever's coming. Yeah, very true. All right, so Stanford has kicked out its first student connected to this admissions scandal. So this is an unnamed female student who lied about her sailing credentials. She has been expelled and has lost all of her class credits that she has already earned.
And never sailed a day.
Never sailed a day, no. Never sailed a day.
One thing I think is unfair, if she went to school, at least for a semester, I don't know what year she's in, and she got grades, she got credits, she shouldn't lose those credits. They should be able to, transfer to a different school.
I disagree. She got in there fraudulent.
Yeah, but then
She's the beneficiary of a Stanford education if she didn't deserve to go there.
because she proved that she deserved to be there because she actually did
pretty steady, like 75, 80 miles per hour before the construction.
Yes.
And then the motorcycles.
Well,
This is the guy who's going all these miles per hour.
Use the route to Heinz to take exit 14C onto Michigan 39 and South Loop Freeway.
I think he was going too fast. I couldn't see. But then a guy who was just driving down a country road gets hit by a wild turkey.
And this man he had a helmet, he had other protective gear on. I
Take
mean,
the
he was
exit.
trying to take proper care of himself while he was riding. Yeah, I know. All right, so a rain-delayed youth baseball game took a really, really bizarre turn when the field actually went up in flames because of a poor decision that was made in an attempt to dry the field quickly.
I like how you say poor decision.
Yeah, well, that's what they called it. Officials called it a, quote, poor decision. So
One could say a ridiculously stupid-ass decision.
so it was either the parents who were there or people watching the game decided to dump 24 gallons of gasoline on the field to dry the field as quick as possible.
Well, okay.
Were they going to light it then, or the
So it
gasoline?
went up in flames, so I don't know if they intentionally lit it or somehow.
A spark?
Is there some, I don't know, myth that gasoline helps dry things?
I know what fire was. So like, they must have been taking it long for the fire to just quickly burn off.
So did they
and the heat would dry.
did they run somewhere to go get 24 gallons? I mean, where did they have this sitting? Did they have it in their car?
Maybe somebody had an RV or a boat.
Or their house, or their garage across the street?
It's a lot of gasoline.
It's a lot of gasoline. They basically ruined the entire field. It's going to cost about $50,000 to repair all of the damage. Ridiculous. Come on, parents.
I had to say, as a baseball parent, because I am a baseball parent, Stoney, when they call a game because of rain, usually we say, "Aw, too bad." Well,
Sorry, little Johnny. Yeah,
we'll get him next time.
exactly.
It's not like I think to myself, what can I possibly do to get this field dry so we can play this pivotal baseball game?
As a soccer parents where, unless there's lightning, you're playing and you're hopefully in a place where you can sit in the car and watch.
Exactly. So someone stole $21,000 worth of merchandise from a Victoria's Secret at a Pennsylvania mall. And this person got away with it because police are still searching for the suspect. But there is some surveillance video. And when you hear $21,000 worth of merchandise, you think,
Not allowing bra and underwear sets.
it is, yes. At the same time,
They have Victoria's Secret.
Or yes, another, it's just like almost every price tag.
no, I know, but it's very expensive, but they actually say that this person stole 2,000 pairs of underwear.
That's a lot of underwear.
That's a very
It's a lot of underwear, but at the same time, like, okay, so each pair of underwear costs more than $10, which that's pretty expensive when I know what some of that underwear is. It is not a lot of material. It seems very expensive. So you gotta go there when they're on sale. I mean,
Well, if you're
who's
shopping-
gonna pay that much money for a pair of underwear?
Well, apparently this person's going to pay $0 for it.
No, they got away with
I
it.
guess you really don't care about a sale. Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of
So
underwear.
did they must have had a bag
Right.
that they just shoved. So they apparently it was all off of the very front display when you walked in, and then in Victoria's Secret there's the drawers underneath the displays that have more underwear, and I guess they just took everything out and ran away while all the employees were busy helping somebody else.
I'm looking at the Victoria's Secret catalog right now.
Yeah, are you?
Sure you are.
Oh, no, I'm just looking at you asked what the prices were.
Yeah.
Like, for example, for underwear, or as they call it on the website.
Panties?
Panties.
Yes.
Do you like that term?
I don't, which is why I didn't say it. And when I hear like dads say it to their 5-year-old daughter, "Don't put on your panties," it just gives me the creeps. They do. They don't call it underwear. Yes, they do. I've heard it.
Not this dad.
Sexual connotation.
No, I didn't say it. Yeah, all right, continue on.
$22 for the newest model.
Oh yeah.
If you will.
Lacy, I'm sure.
It's called the very sexy double strap string bikini in double strap. So they say double strap twice. But yeah, like, again, how do you? It's like the end of Ocean's 11 where they ask the question, okay, how do you walk out of a casino holding? How many million dollars they steal in Ocean's 11? I mean, they did the whole video uplink thing.
Yeah.
Like,
It definitely wasn't in this woman's hands. Like she had to have a bag
or purse.
because
She
you
had
know
a pretty big bag. Yeah.
had to have.
Right.
All right, finally, a new study proves what true.
Right?
That is true.
Or drive you crazy.
Well,
right? I mean,
yeah.
there are a couple times where your dogs have destroyed certain things in your
Oh,
house.
yes. They escaped the electric fence yesterday yet again. And, we are walking through neighbors' backyards waving as they're eating dinner. Hey, guys! Sorry! Dogs on the loose again.
I think they got a new electric fence you replaced.
We will. Well, the thing is we only have one collar right now, and apparently they don't really care about getting shots.
We have 2 dogs.
I know.
And if Virginia would have won, they could have afforded the other collar.
Seriously, I
Very, very, very sore.
It is.
7:13. Thank you very much, Heather. Coming up at 7:25 is your chance to win $2,000 in our
10
2 grand
miles.
slam.
Take a slight
Jamie
right
and
turn to
Stormy
merge
at
onto
97.
I-75 south
The
toward
tickets.
Toledo.
Dr. Letterman and Dr. Kortowitz, they want to help you. Are you suffering from arthritis? Maybe you're still a young guy, but you notice the joint pain, the elbows, the knees. We're just not getting any better. Well, Dr. Letterman and his team at LK Orthopedics are using stem cell therapy to help halt the natural progression of arthritis. Yep, that's right, stem cell therapy. Non-embryonic stem cells directly into the affected area, allowing the body to regenerate healthy, normal tissues. If you're living in pain, experience a pain-free life by going to see Dr. Letterman and Dr. Kortowitz at LK Orthopedics. Their phone number is 248-669-2000. These are doctors and board-certified surgeons who believe that surgery should be used as a last resort. LKOrthopedics.com is their website. 248-669-2000. Give them a call today and find out how stem cell therapy, not surgery, can help you live a pain-free life. 248-669-2000 or LKOrthopedics.com. Get better faster at LK. 97.1 ticket.
This report brought to you by Kroger. There's a big problem this morning in Springfield Township. I-75 southbound at East Holly Road is closed due to an accident. Traffic is backed up past Grange Hall Road. You can still exit Grange Hall Road, take that to Dixie Highway and re-enter the freeway. Also reports right now of a disabled vehicle in the left lane of M10 Lodge Freeway southbound just before Pallister. Now at Kroger, earn 3 times the food meals on meat, seafood, produce, and food. Get your coupons on the weekly ad at the app or at Kroger.com and earn points you can use to save at the pump. Restrictions apply. Fresh food, low prices at Kroger. I'm Michelle Penny on the WWJ 24-hour traffic center.